Hi everybody, it's Christina. Christina Glockle. There's three of us in the class. So I did my paper on the chemistry of alcohol and its effects on the bodies. I did this because it was kind of branching out for me. I had never really considered the chemistry of alcohol or what it did to my body. So my liver's probably half dead just from Korea alone. I did a year over in Korea and I drank a lot over there. Oh my god. So everybody knows what alcohol is. It makes us funny, it makes us loose in our inhibitions. It even gets us to sing a bad rendition of Bohemian Rhapsody every so often. Those are really interesting to watch. When you get like 5 drunk people up there like singing Bohemian Rhapsody, it's awesome. And they're drunk and they don't give a rat's butt. And they sound awful. Anyways, so yeah. Bohemian Rhapsody, you have been glocked. Anyways, so you've heard that alcohol kills the liver slowly, but do you know why? It's because of the breakdown of alcohol when it enters our body. Alcohol is broken down by enzymes. The two most common enzymes are alcohol dehydrogenase and sorry, I'm trying to find it. Aldehyde dehydrogenase. So these two the chemical breakdown of alcohol, the molecule itself is CH3CH2OH. Not going to try to pronounce that because I can't remember it off the top of my head. Once alcohol enters the body, the enzyme, the alcohol dehydrogenase, or ADH, turns the alcohol into something else, CH3CHO, or as it's better known, acetaldehyde, which is a highly toxic carcinogen, which, if you don't know what a carcinogen is, it causes cancer. It kills your body, it causes cancer. That's about the breakdown of it. After that is created in our bodies, the aldehyde dehydrogenase, or CHCO negative, breaks down the acetaldehyde into acetate. Acetate being like the paint thinner stuff. So if you ever go to the bathroom after you've been really drunk and you notice that there's a really bad smell, it's the acetate. So it breaks it down further into, after it's broken down into the acetate, it's broken down into water and carbon dioxide and fully expelled from our bodies via our urine. Urine is what's left of the fluids we intake after our liver processes them. So water, milk, juice, soda, alcohol, all that stuff goes through our liver. And our liver's not very happy with us when we drink stuff like, Red Bulls or coffee or alcohol. All those things that have like chemicals in them that, shouldn't be in our bodies. Granted, I am not one to talk, but whatever. Anyways, most of the alcohol is metabolized through our liver. And if it's not metabolized in our liver, it can also be metabolized in the brain, where we have a crap load of fatty tissue, and the fatty tissues throughout our body, as well as the pancreas. This is why alcohol causes brain damage and weight gain. Acetaldehyde is actually probably the main culprit for the effects of alcohol. It has a short time period, which is why you need to drink to kind of keep your high up, because it causes side effects like sleepiness, memory problems, and lack of coordination, which can make you fun, or make you dumb, or make you boring. So you're sitting here thinking like, oh, well, I know this person, they can drink a lot and never have a hangover, and, they drink a lot every night. Well, a lot of that is due to genetics, gender, height, liver size, liver capabilities, and whatever else you want to throw in there. Only so much alcohol can be processed by the liver, which is why blood alcohol levels are what they are. Your blood is literally made up of CH3, CH2, and whatever your blood alcohol level is, be it 0.08%, 0.08% of your body, of your blood, is made up of the CH3, CH2, molecules, or alcohol. So, many different cultures have developed different genetics to fight against alcohol abuse and alcoholism. Asians, for example, are having babies with higher levels of the ADH enzyme. Men also have a higher level of the ADH enzyme just by birth. However, women have less overall water in their body, so the levels of concentration are increased in a woman's body. So that's why women get drunk quicker, because, well, we don't have as much water as guys do. So gender, ethnicity, there's multiple different racial factors with alcohol, and if you want to, you can read my paper. I've mentioned a few of them. However, one statistic that kind of got me was, so Native Americans, they're not really, when you think of Native Americans, you either think potheads or alcoholics. Native Americans have the highest death rate due to alcohol than any other minority group in the U.S. This is not due to the levels of enzymes, and nobody really knows why. Other cultures are starting to adapt to drinking. Maybe it's just, because Native Americans were, I don't know. That's a history lesson for you to learn. I'll let you learn that one on your own. Anyways, alcohol has been condemned by many people. It's made using different processes. Wine, for instance, and this is where we kind of get into the nitty-gritty of things and why alcohol is so toxic and how it's made. The chemistry of alcohol is one that has been both studied and condemned by a lot of people. Everybody says it's the devil's drink. It kind of is. I'm not speaking from a religious standpoint. I'm just saying, if you want to pull out a drink that's going to be the devil's drink, it's going to be alcohol, because it makes you stupid, makes you dumb, makes you do dumb stuff, and I'm trying not to curse here. So, anyways, if you've ever tried to make wine, I'm sure you've probably failed, as I have. I tried to make wine when I was a teenager, and it failed epically. So, you have to choose a way that you're going to go about it. The best way, and the way that all the professionals make it, are, they harvest the grapes, and then grapes are chosen based on their sugar levels as well as their acidity and flavor. A lot goes into choosing these grapes. I never knew. And every year there's different batches of grapes because, well, there's different chemicals floating around the atmosphere, there's different rain levels. So when you hear people be like, that's a nice 1951 wine, they probably have an idea of what they're talking about, unless they just read the bottle. Because every year, like I said, the grapes are different. They're chosen for their sugar levels as well as their acidity and flavor. So, after they are chosen, the stems are removed and the grapes are gently crushed to break the skin. You know how they have that little, membrane surrounding the meat of the grape? So, they break the skin, and sulfur dioxide is added to the grapes to prevent the grapes from browning and becoming unusable, like oxidation. So sulfur dioxide is used to keep the grapes from oxidizing. Oxidizing, if you take an apple, right, cut it in half, set it out, apple's going to turn brown. Why? Oxidation. It's the reaction between oxygen and the fruit or whatever else is being oxidized. Like if you leave a bottle of wine open, it's going to taste nasty. So after that, they're pressed to release as much juice as possible. So that's when you get to the actual, like, making the alcohol part. You get the juice out of the grapes, and if you're dumb like me, when I was like 17 years old, used a can of frozen grape juice. So yeast is added. Yeast is a bacteria that is alive, and it causes the fermentation to begin. The yeast breaks down the glucose or sugar in the grapes, and it breaks the glucose and water into ethanol and carbon dioxide using the yeast as a catalyst. Yeast turns the sugar into alcohol using anaerobic respiration, producing the ethanol and carbon dioxide molecules without using oxygen. However, though, the yeast eventually gets too drunk and dies because the alcohol levels are just too high. So, if you're making wine, obviously you're going to add less yeast to, something else, than you would something else. But, yeah, yeast will die eventually, and that will give you your alcohol level or your proof level. Proof level is always double the percentage of alcohol in the drink. So if you have something that's 12% alcohol, it's going to be 24 proof. And you can get all the way up to 200 proof, which is like straight up nastiness when it comes, well, at least in my opinion. So the wine is left to, the fermentation happens, the wine is left to sit, and it's aged. That is where a lot of people are like, that's a really good 1951 Chateau, because it's well aged. As the wine ages, it gets better and better with age, or at least some people seem to think so. I prefer white wines, sweet white wines, but that's just me. If you like reds, that's fine with you too. So, different ways to make alcohol, different effects on the body. Everyone metabolizes alcohol differently. If you have a drink and you're drunk, fine. Just know your limits. Anyways, so through the teeth, past the gum, look out, stomach, here she comes.